thinking I want to share what happened on Chof Ches Nisan and what the reaction was in my personal experience. And I'm thinking these last couple of weeks and how it's evolved, the basic questions that we had right then, right after the Rebbe said the Sikha. Everybody knew that this is a milestone. This is a watershed moment. This is a special moment, a special Sikha. The next day was Friday. This was a Thursday night. Friday, I was teaching a class in our school. That's my Iker Shlichus. I'm the principal of a school, and I teach the oldest class. This is girls of year 12. Today, they're mostly, probably, bobbers, mothers, mitzvah. And we were talking about the Sikha, and there were two questions. And those questions, over the years, have remained, and it's a challenge. How are we going to face up to the questions? Number one, what the Sikha meant in terms of what the Rebbe is going to do in the future. And number two, what is expected, what could be expected from us if the Rebbe says what he's saying. And I'm giving you like a thing over the years thought through, but basically this is what I said. The Rebbe is a person who sees something through to the end. Certainly something which is the tachlis of his whole Nesius and of his whole being since he was a child before Cheder. And that's to bring the Olam, to bring the world to Moshiach. Now, if you look at the Nesius of the Rebbe became the Nosi Hashvi in Tovshin Yud. It was just 4 years after the Holocaust. After all the upheavals and the traumas, the entire world, and especially the Jewish world, was in post-traumatic stress disorder. Everybody was PTSD. Even today, there's the aftershocks. But then, and the Rebbe came on the scene, so someone felt maybe, he's going to go and show some relief. But what the Rebbe said, and what the Rebbe showed from the word go, is that we're not just here to recover, to relieve. We're here for Moshiach. We're going, people who look like Begashmias or Beruchmias were in such a low thing. Throughout the entire world, the Rebbe led everyone to Geula Pratis and is leading the world to Geula Klolis, without any doubt. By the nature of this type of a goal, this is an unlimited goal. This is a goal which, until Mashiach comes, bepoil, it's a failure, kavayochel on a certain level. It's a great, great success on a certain level, but there's a level, ultimately level, which is what we're aiming for. What is the purpose of all existence of the whole B'riyas Ha'olam? If you ask people, and Yusuf al-Torah, people will tell you, some people say it's to earn a good place in Olam Haba. In Mishnah and Pirkei Avos, to get a good place in Olam Haba, schar is a very important thing for everything that you do right. Others will say, based on the Rambam and Sifrei Musa, the shleimus ha'adam, to become a perfect person. And the Rebbe said, of course there'll be schar, of course you'll become a Muslim, but that's not what it's about. It's about what the Eibishter wanted. It's about Dira B'Tachtonim. It's about bringing the Shekhinah down to this world, so everything in the world will be harmonious, aligned, just like the Eibishter wanted. The world will continue to exist. Everything that's there by Goyla will be there, but there'll be the Aleph, which makes it Geula, which means that everything in the world will be fulfilled in the way that the Eibishter wanted it to, and for the reason that Hashem created it. The Rebbe told a friend, today a prominent mashpia, and this is Tafshin Yutes. He was in Yechidus, and the Rebbe would always demand things. And he said to the Rebbe, "It looks like you're never really happy with what I'm doing." And the Rebbe said, I'm paraphrasing, it was in Yiddish, but the Rebbe said, "I'm happy with everything, even a small thing, and I'm not satisfied even with the biggest thing. I want, ich will noch," the Rebbe said, "I want more, to expand our capacities." So, Chof Ches Nissen, the Rebbe was saying, coming to our ultimate goal, until we get there, you see all the gedolos and the floys, what the Mif'al HaShlichus says now, how the expansion of Chabad in Gastas and Kabbos, in Eichus, in learning, in depth, and everything else. But without his galus of Moshiach, we haven't done what the main job is. And I believe this is, I didn't see anywhere, but based on that day and Bichlal and that Kufa, when the Rebbe spoke to Avodas HaBirurim, the Rebbe was telling us that all external obstacles to Mashiach have been removed. It's now up to us to remove the internal obstacles. In other words, to do our share. But the Rebbe was saying, instead of saying, "I give up, I'm retiring," that's the kind of words that the girls in the class were asking. Is that what the Rebbe is saying? The Rebbe, after that, 11 months of unbelievable rich sikhs, giving us the direction. And after Gimel Tammuz, you can see the Rebbe is with us. Wherever he is, he's still part of that battle and part of that struggle. And it's like Yaakov, Vayivasa Yaakov Levade. The Rebbe says in Amayme in Tovshim and Gimel that Yaakov was on one side of the river. His family were all with Esau, with all the threat. But Yaakov wasn't just there. Yaakov wasn't merely saying Shea Malach, as we heard. He was also wrestling with the Malach. He was taking care of all of those remaining obstacles. And the Rebbe was saying, I've done what I can, and I'm going to continue to doing it. But now I've opened up the field that you have to remove that inner golus apinimi, that inner exile from yourself, in order to be able to do what you can do, which I know you can do, which the Eibishter knows you can do, which is the whole Messias of Dor Hashvi, to bring the Shechina Dolamata, and which was the whole reason that the world was created. The Medrash says, Ruach Shel Moshiach. There's a story in the Medrash, which the Rebbe quoted many times. I heard it from the Rebbe many times, sometimes at length and sometimes just referring to it. It's a story about Rabbi Chanina ben Doisa. Rabbi Chanina ben Doisa was a person, together with his wife, abject poverty, very, very poor. But was a Baal Moifis, tremendous tzaddik, and tremendous Baal Moifsim. And he saw that everyone was going to bring to the Beis HaMikdash different korbanos, different offerings, different whatever, objects to the Beis HaMikdash. He couldn't afford to take anything to the Beis HaMikdash. So he went looking, and he found in a forest or in a field, he found a big stone, a big boulder. And he says, I'm going to give that as my gift to the Beis HaMikdash. That's going to be my present. So he saw some people, there were workers who were able, he couldn't lift the thing, there's no possibility in the world. But there were these workers, they offered to do it, but they wanted a certain sum of money. He couldn't afford it, he didn't have anything. And then the Eibishter saw how much he wanted to give this big stone. And the Eibishter sent 5 Malochim disguised as workers. And they said, we'll take it for you to Yerushalayim. But you have to give you have to support us with a finger. The Rebbe, whenever I heard from the Rebbe, he said, Etzba Katana. In Medrash might just the Etzba, but it means any Etzba. The Rebbe said, the Medrash is telling us, you take an Etzba and you lift it up and it will get to Yerushalayim. It will fulfill what it has to fulfill. And when the Rebbe said, Tut alles was you can, do everything that you can, it's only natural to react by saying, I should do everything. How can I do everything? The Rebbe is telling me to do everything. We heard at a Fabrengen, a Moshiach Suda, from Reb Chaim Volvovsky, he said it from Rabbi Levitin, from a Mashpia, he heard at a Fabrengen in 770. Avot, he said, the emphasis, you should read it not as emphasizing the everything, which seems intimidating. The key word is you. Do everything that you can do. You don't have to be the overseer. You don't have to check on everyone else what they're doing, or see where it's holding. That's the Rebbe. That's the Eibishter who sees the entire picture. Everything that's happening since Chav Ches Nisan, Tov Nun Shin Aleph, is pieces falling into place. The shlichus that's going on, the hachava of moisdus, the diversity, catering for everyone, the tremendously beautiful effect on our precious millions of brothers and sisters, other Yidden, not Chabad, joining in various types of activities through this inspiration. It's happening. The pieces are falling into place. We haven't seen the end yet, but we should be confident. Ani Shalom, we heard the Rebbe's word. Ani Shalom, the fact that there are distractions and all sorts of problems in the world outside, that should not intimidate us, because Ani Shalom, we know exactly what we have to do. Do what you can. It's the Moshiach HaPrati. We're now in the middle of Sfiras HaOmer, and in Chassidus it asks, why does the Torah say in one of the psukim, Tisperu Chamishim Yom, count 50 days? And you can't count 50, you count 7 times 7, it's only 49. The 50th is something, it's a gift, Milmaila. It's a present that Hashem gives you. That's the His Galus. That's the Beis HaMikdash. That's the stone, getting it to the Beis HaMikdash. So why does it say Tisperu, you should count? Because you'll get it as a result of you doing what you can. If you focus on the Inyanim that you are able to, those that are within your hand, then the Eibishter will see that everything else should take place. On a practical level, I just want to speak a little bit on a practical level, a suggestion, the things that we have to do. It's pretty obvious. The Rebbe said, learn Inyanim of Geula and Moshiach. It means basically a paradigm shift of how we look at life. To look at it in a Mashiach way. I was at a Yechidus in Tavshin Chav Beis Chav Gimel 62, 63. Not my Yechidus. I shouldn't have been there. Maybe the Rebbe used to see groups of students or of youngsters. These were teenagers, about maybe 14, 15 years old. I think they might have been from a conservative temple or something, or quite modern Orthodox. They were there with their rabbi, and they were sitting on benches, must be about 15, 20 kids, and there was questions and answers. And that particular, I've got a few of these, but this one, the Rebbe spoke a lot about Moshiach and explained Al Pi Teva, how you can understand the idea of Moshiach, even Al Pi Teva, how it's not so unrealistic. But one of the kids asked the Rebbe, what is the best way to prepare for Mashiach? And the Rebbe said to him, you behave in your own personal life as if Mashiach is here. How are you going to behave then? where your priorities are going to be. What are you going to allow to distract you? Habits, addictions, things we're ashamed of. So everything you can do is to increase the way you look at the world. And that will make you look more at the things that you're proud of yourself, and to expand, enhance, reinforce, increase, and to not to have time for other shtusim, because you'll be busy doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's learning about Moshiach. There's a mitzvah that's taking place the next 2 months specifically to learn the sichos of the Dvar Malchus and of Tafshin Nun Aleph and Nun Beis, very rich sichos. There's a way in which every bit of the Rebbe's Torah is really geula. It's taking something which is not. I personally try to learn Igris every day since Gimel Tammuz Nun Dalet, Keseder, not random. I'm already near the end of Chelek Tesvav, 4th time around. It's fascinating. How the Rebbe shows how to face up. There are some things which are great successes, how to build on it. It's never stopped. It's never stopped there. It's an unlimited goal. Or it's how to be able to how to creep out of situations that we're in that we really shouldn't be in, and we want to get out of them. And so everything is geula in that way, but also specifically in Yoni Geula Moshiach in a kaviyazdik way. That means not just once in a while, it could be once a week or once a day, but it should be something which is specific and planned. Put more effort into avodas hatfilah, how we daven. To stop for 30 seconds, turn off the phone, don't just put it on silent. For that 3 hours you're going to daven b'avodah, or for the 30 minutes you're going to daven with just Perish Hamilas. But no distraction. And like the Rebbe brings in the Rishimis from the Frierdiker Rebbe, the name of the Tzemach Tzedek, I believe, that if his boinenness itself, just contemplating Chassidus, doesn't do the trick for you completely, do this boinenness, but sing a niggin, a Chassidish niggin, while you're davening. He says, if you're just not completely adult in your spiritual abilities of his boinenness, niginosam, singing with the davening help, but take attention to it, and especially the way you look at a fellow Yid. Miftzoyim, share with another Yid, those who are very near to you and those who are a step away. I want to tell you a story which happened this year, Erev Pesach. It moved me, and I'm still on that impression of what this happened. Friday, Erev Pesach, I get a message, and somebody writes, there's something I'd like to discuss with you. This is a very serious Chassidish Yid who I know. He lives on the East Coast. Chassidish Yid, he's a shliach, he's in chinuch. Tayere, tzad. Learns Rebbe's Mamorim Baal Peh. So it's Erev Yom Tov. By me, it was a few hours before Yom Tov. By him, it's mid-morning. Erev, a 3-day Yom Tov. Last chance to do the things you have to do before Pesach. So it must be really, really important. Usually, I would just type back. If it's urgent, 24/6. If not, let's talk after Chalamoid, after Shabbos, whatever. I'm thinking, if something's bothering him, really. So I phoned him up. Friday afternoon. I said, what did you want to share with me? He says, maybe you can help me. I have a major difficulty. I said, what's the difficulty? He says, we're going to read the Haggadah tomorrow night. And it says, Keneged Abo Bonim Dibro Torah. The Torah speaks about 4 sons. He said, the Torah does not speak about 4 sons at all. The Torah doesn't designate any names, doesn't label anybody. The Torah says questions you may be asked and how you should answer them. Why does the Haggadah have to be Magdir? Why does it have to define someone as a Rosh? And he continued the question. I was listening. I understood his question after 5 seconds, but I listened for 5 minutes. And he said, I know that Rebbe Sicha, that the words to the Rasha are not a rebuke. They are a reassurance. Ilo hoya sham, lo hoya nigo. If he were there, the emphasis is on the there he wouldn't, but you should know something here, now, Moshiach is going to come and every single person is going to be included. Somehow you're going to get, everyone's going to be in there. Somehow everyone's going to be in there when Moshiach comes. He said, but that doesn't satisfy me. That's not a big nechama. I'm telling him somebody else was worse. You got a brother who was worse than you. That is not really what. Why did it have to say? So I was put on off the spot. I tell you what I told him. If anybody has a better answer, I said, you're going to 4 words from the end. 4 words from the end of the answer. I'm telling you from the first word, even before the first word, in what the Rebbe says in the Sikha. And namely, that the Haggadah is there to be masbir, to elaborate on that which the Torah says, the psukim. It's darshaning the psukim. So it's telling us you're going to see someone who maybe looks like a Rasha, but you should know that that's echad Rasha. The same echad that's in the Chacham is in that person who you think is a Rasha. Don't see him as Rasha, see him as echad Rasha. There's an echad that's waiting to be released. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a Mashiach cook. It's a Sikh of the Rebbe in Pashas Matas Tavshim Memches. Why we call it the 3 weeks and not the 21 days, the time of mourning? He said because the point is when you say 3, you think right away third Beis Hamikdash. It's to tell us when you see something that looks like a churban, something which seems Heimal HaMelchama, you can be at peace. You have the Rebbe's Torah, the Rebbe's direction. It's leading us. It's happening. What happened in the past 30 years? From one point of view, people will say, wow, Chabad, whew, great success. The Rebbe would say, it's Hevavalik, not Chas v'Sholem, it's Gedolos in the Floyd. But you have to remember that it's going to lead to something infinitely greater, which is Moshiach. And everyone has to do their part. And you don't have to do everything, but you have to do everything that you can. Start from your own inner self. And the Rebbe is still helping that we should be able to, each one is, don't underestimate the smallest achievement that you are capable of doing. Go for it. And don't overestimate the biggest achievements that you've already had, because go for more. L'chaim, the Rebbe is still helping that we should see this Galas Mashiach Tzidkenu B'Koriv Mamash. Chaim.